Euromax highlights. And here's your host, Karin Helmstedt.
Greetings from the German capital and a warm welcome to our highlights of the week. And before we kick off this show, let's have a quick look at some of our top stories. Resounding ruins, disused industrial sites get a new lease on life. Outdoor eats, join a barbecue course with the experts. And Baltic Highlight, spotlighting the Latvian Dance and Music Festival. Well, once upon a time, the Ruhr Valley in Western Germany was this country's industrial heartland. That was until about the 1980s, when the coal and steel industries there went into decline. Well, the area then became an industrial wasteland until some enterprising people began to use it as a compelling backdrop for cultural events. Now, that whole idea has since been copied in other places, like in the state of Saarland in the southwest. And an old industrial landscape there has now become the perfect setting for a huge techno festival.
A modern music festival at a World Heritage Site. DJ Wankelmut is warming up the crowd at the Electromagnetic Festival. Last year it was judged the best new festival in Europe. That may have had a lot to do with the festival's site, the former Völklinger Ironworks in the state of Saarland.
It's perfect. There's a lot of steel and other metal. That has an effect on people. It's a mix of old and new culture. It's totally cool.
Jakob Dilsner, alias DJ Wankelmut, is one of the festival's main attractions. Last year, one of his remixes was top of the charts in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland.
The whole design of the place and the industrial atmosphere is really impressive. Techno is essentially industrial music anyway, so it's appropriate to play it at a place where people used to work.
People are always asking us, how come Germany produces so much electronic music? A lot of it comes from northern England. That's where it started. Belgium, too. Those are all industrial regions. People who live there have absorbed the pulse of the metal machinery in the factories. It's in their heads, it's even in their DNA.
They produced iron and steel here for nearly 100 years. The plant was closed in 1986 and became a World Heritage Site in 1994. Meinrad Grevenik is head of the facility. The Völklinger site is the world's last fully preserved industrial-age ironworks. It covers 600,000 square meters. Grevenik is committed not only to preserving the facility, but also to breathing new life into it with cultural events. For example, an exhibition with internationally renowned street artists.
We consider the ironworks an offspring of pop culture. Pop art has always had a strong focus on industry and mass production, and it was through its association with pop culture that this site, which was once a center of industrial production, has now for the first time become a cultural symbol.
During the industrial age, factories were overheated, noisy, and dirty. The working conditions were tough. In coking plants, coal was heated to temperatures of up to 1,200 degrees Celsius. Back in the 1960s, the Völklinger Ironworks employed up to 17,000 people. After World War II, the Ruhr coal and steel plants faced heavy competition from overseas, with the result that they were being shut down one after the other. This huge gasometer in the Ruhr Valley town of Oberhausen has been converted into an exhibition space. Right now, it's featuring works by the famous Bulgarian-born artist Christo. Last weekend, the Ruhr district celebrated its annual culture festival called Extraschicht, or Extra Shift. More than 200,000 people attended.
When I was younger, I worked at various mines and coking plants. So when I come to the cultural events here at Extraschicht, it's like reliving the past. It's a lot of fun.
They could have just torn it down and put up a stupid shopping center, but they preserved it, and I think that's great.
One of the festival events was held at the Heinrichshütte Works in Hattingen. Actors staged a noisy performance using tools from a bygone age. Old industrial sites in Germany have undergone a transformation in recent years. They've become an artistic inspiration for some, a performance stage for others.
The work was hot and dirty, but there was also a sound to it. And the workers took that sound home with them and woke up with it. It was part of their life.
And this transformation of former industrial sites continues in other countries too. For example, 6 facilities in Britain have now been designated World Heritage Sites, compared to 4 in Germany. Occasionally, part of the sites revert to their natural state, like here at the Völklinger Ironworks. Here in the back, vegetation has been growing wild for years. So, a landscape architect turned the area into a series of 12 garden areas.
This is our paradise. It's a really special place. The coking plant was a hellish place. And now, 25 years after the plant was shut down, nature has reclaimed this part.
But once a year, techno music fans take over the former ironworks. 10,000 people gather here to dance and enjoy themselves until the early morning hours. That's 7,000 fewer people than used to work here. But at least modern culture has provided a new lease on life for these industrial ruins.
Well, if you think you're not the type to get excited by architecture, then I'd be willing to bet that Peter Zumthor might just change your mind. The Swiss architect started out in the late 1950s as a carpenter, and that means that he has a very tactile relationship with his materials. Well, his latest project now pays some homage to those beginnings.
The Bregenz forest at the western tip of Austria has a new building for trades and tradesmen. It brings skills and knowledge under one roof. The building's designer, Swiss architect Peter Zumthor, explains the idea behind this latest creation.
Fantastic, fresh, open, and proud. That's what I felt it had to be. Here you don't have the building providing the space and then going off on its own. Here, the building creates the space.
The massive roof made of wood and metal stands out. The interior is spacious and open. The building is located on the main street of the town of Andersbuch. It was designed as a vast showcase for the trades. Peter Zumthor is from a family of tradesmen. His own professional career began with a carpentry apprenticeship.
When you make furniture, even as a boy, you learn something very basic about structural engineering, more than with mathematics at school. I know, for instance, that a chair leg of such and such a form and size will stand. Architecture, of course, is a lot bigger, but the principles are the same.
Zumthor made his name internationally with his designs for the spa complex in Vals, as well as the Columba Museum in Cologne, and the Brother Klaus Field Chapel. In 2008, he received the Japanese Premium Imperiale for his life's work, and in 2009, the Pritzker Prize, perhaps the greatest recognition of all for an architect. He got to know many of the tradesmen from the Bregenz forest during construction of the Kunsthaus there.
That was the beginning of a number of friendships. We have great respect for each other, and we have some very close friendships. One result is that I received this contract and the confidence it implies straight away. They just thought, come on, let's get Zumthor for it.
The Werkraum Bregenzer Wald is a tradesmen's co-op of some 80 companies for many different trades. Most are carpenters, but there are also builders, metal workers, and tailors. The internationally renowned Trades and Form competition is held every 3 years as a way to inspire the next generation.
If the sons of all the tradesmen become lawyers, and only one is left who knows how to do this, then good craftsmanship can hardly be had for any price. That person would be paid like a high-powered attorney. We don't want that to happen. This is a counter-movement.
Markus Feist is a carpenter who's very interested in keeping the trades and their traditions alive. He's been a member of the Werkraum since it was founded in 1999. He's the second generation in his family to run the cabinet maker's shop in neighboring Hittesow. He gives sustainability a top priority, using wood from the region, cut according to an old tradition, only during certain phases of the moon.
The great store of knowledge about this wood and its origins here in the immediate area, the qualities you need for various uses, what works perfectly and what's second best. You can't write that down. It has to be passed on from one generation to the next in one long, interconnected tradition.
For these trades to survive, it's vital that they remain affordable. A handmade kitchen shouldn't cost much more than one ready-made from the furniture store. Chairs reminiscent of milking stools and prize-winning cutting boards made by Feist's shop are part of the exhibition opening on July 21st in the Werkraum House. Works by all 80 members can be seen.
This is something that's very much alive. There are women and children taking part. There'll be a tradesman's table, a little restaurant, and a bar. That's life and joy. That's holistic.
At the opening festivities, Peter Zumthor is the guest of honor and a big part of the region's tradesman's culture.
Well, if you think about it, it's how the whole concept of cooking began, charring meat over a fire. And maybe that's why barbecue season has such a special flavour to it. But we have come a long way, and the barbecue pros of today no longer have to chop the wood or fuss with messy charcoal. And as the equipment has evolved, well, so have the possibilities. And so we got some inspiration at a gourmet grill academy in southwestern Germany.
Juicy steak with green pea frittatas, hamburgers with dried tomatoes and sweet onions, and Scottish fillet of salmon with wild berry garnish. It's not what you'd expect to be offered at the average barbecue in Germany. These 20 people, 19 men and 1 woman, are taking part in a course to widen their culinary repertoire.
I love barbecuing. I cook all kinds of things, but I think I'll learn a lot here.
For me, it's about having fun together.
I'd like to have a go at some of these dishes at home, the marinated sausages, the steaks, or the salmon.
The courses are held in a former monastery in the town of Ingelheim in southwestern Germany by chef Bart Moos. He says good outdoor cooking requires the proper techniques. Whether the barbecue is wood-fired, gas-powered or electric, most food should be cooked over indirect heat with the lid on. That ensures the food cooks faster and more evenly. There are a few tricks to improve the flavour too.
These are cedarwood planks. They've been soaked in water. You can use them for smoking. Wherever you cook on them acquires a smoked flavour.
These days, the work is made easier by high-end equipment. Specialist stores like this one in Mainz sell all kinds of gadgets to make the experience more convenient, including designer grills, fancy tongs and recipe books. Weber's Complete Barbecue book is a bestseller in Germany, but customers invest most in the grill itself. A good one can cost thousands of euros and be a status symbol.
It's like when your neighbor went out and bought an expensive car. Today, the neighbor gets a high-end grill, and to keep up with the Joneses, you find yourself wanting one too.
Back to Bart Moos's barbecue school. For him and his colleague Aaron Goodfleisch, first-class outdoor cooking begins with a shopping trip. And not just to the butchers. They consider variety to be the spice of barbecuing life.
You can barbecue anything. Whatever you can cook in a kitchen, you can cook on a grill. The only thing I don't grill is pasta, but I barbecue everything else. Cake, bread, meat, vegetables, fish, anything and everything that occurs to me.
Even ice cream has found its way onto the grill of the Belgian-born cook. For dessert, the course participants are making barbecued ice cream bombs. The frozen interiors are completely coated with whipped egg white before being popped on the grill for a few moments.
An easygoing atmosphere, delicious cooking. It was a great evening.
The dessert was totally new for me. Cooking ice cream on a grill. Everything else was delicious and interesting too.
After the dessert, the lessons may be over, but the fledgling barbecuers are just getting started. They'll take with them plenty of new recipes to try out at home.
Singing is good for you, and there are lots of studies to prove it, which may just mean that Latvians are particularly healthy because practically everyone in Latvia sings. Now, there's a very strong choral tradition there that's been nourished for centuries, and every 5 years they hold a spectacular song and dance festival.
The grand finale of the Latvian Song and Dance Festival in the capital Riga brought a chorus of tens of thousands of people together. Among them, amateur singer Alisa Baumana and conductor Ints Teterovskis.
It was a fantastic experience. Everyone, the audience too, was singing along.
It was just a fabulous feeling. The audience held out in this heat, listening to us for hours. I'm overwhelmed.
A few days before, Alisa Baumana hurried to one of the final rehearsals for the grand finale.
I got up at 5 a.m., got to the office at 7, worked for 9 hours, and now I'll be rehearsing for 3 hours.
Her choir normally practices 3 times a week, but in the run-up to the festival, the rehearsals and concerts come thick and fast. Whether studying or working, many young Latvians spend almost all their free time with their choirs.
Singing gives me lots of energy. Our conductor puts everything he had into it, and I feel recharged with fresh energy. I feel wonderful.
In a choir, you have to accomplish things together because we all sing together. If one voice sounds really good but the others are bad, everything sounds bad.
Alisa Baumana and her friends from the choir like to stroll through Riga's streets in the evening. But even then, the main topic is the upcoming Song and Dance Festival. It's a cornerstone of Latvian national identity.
My boss gave me the week off for this, and I don't even have any vacation days. But this festival only happens once every 5 years. He and his family will be celebrating right along with us.
On its first day, the festival starts with a parade. Hundreds of choirs march through Riga. All the singers wear traditional costumes of wool and linen.
You see how they celebrate, how people stick together. The most important part of this is simply being here all together.
I think the classical linen fabric is just beautiful. But to be honest, today is just far too hot for this costume.
A singer might have said the same thing at the very first Latvian Song and Dance Festival 140 years ago. Festivals like it have a long tradition in all 3 Baltic countries. Now they're even on UNESCO's World Cultural Heritage list. Here in the Old Town, the morning before the grand finale, Ints Teterovskis recalled that it was here that he first discovered the real power of folk songs. When Latvians marched for independence from the Soviet Union in the late 1980s, choirs played a key role. Many Latvians even speak of a singing revolution.
Singing together created very strong feelings of community back then. For the first time in my life, I was proud to be a Latvian.
The singers begin to gather outdoors near the stage.
Today we'll all be together here, 15,000 singers and 15,000 audience members. The Song Festival is the main thing that brings our little nation together.
Thousands of singers take their places on the stage. The choir poses for a quick group photo to remember the occasion. After all, the next Latvian Song and Dance Festival won't be until 2018. The singers on the stage strike up the tune, and thousands of viewers join in to form one single resounding voice.
And finally, over now to the UK, where summertime is a bit of a dodgy affair at the best of times, but the Brits are not ones to let a little weather dampen their spirits. They have a wealth of entertaining summer events to pass the time, and we may only hear about the well-heeled Ascot races and the hats, but many ordinary Brits flock to the country to let their hair down in proper English style.
The Great Yorkshire Show in Northern England is one of the UK's biggest agricultural fairs. London is really the centre of British cultural life, but here for 3 days, the people of Yorkshire have a chance to show off. John Henderson has been coming here every year for a decade.
It's a farming show, by farmers, for farmers. But as well as that, and very important, most of the people who come are not farmers, but they want to know about their food, about the countryside. But it's also just, you know, you're allowed to have fun. It's a good day out.
For the breeders, the show is a success if people are impressed by their livestock. Ideally, the judge is impressed too. His approval is marked with a red bow.
It's for the best udder. There's some other cows you'll see, like the age groups, the best one of that age kind of thing. Yeah. Anyway, she's got to go to get milked. Thank you.
The Beagles Championship is a serious competition. These representatives of British hunting dogs are busy at work. Just looking cute garners no points.
Must have a strong shoulder, must have a strong back to push it along with, because these hounds hunt for a long time, all through the day, and they have to be very fit and very strong.
The Great Yorkshire Show was first held in 1837. The goal was to safeguard the future of farming. 6,000 visitors came to the first show. Today it draws 130,000. Many people use the occasion to put on a spectacle of their own. But even those without the right outfit are welcome to try on top-quality country styles by regional designers.
To find something like this is amazing, because you're not necessarily going to find it in a shop. So it's my purchase for the day.
And when the sun shines, even in Britain, it's picnic time.
We've got tortilla wraps with ham and cheese, and then for later, if it's good, chocolate.
The aristocratic equivalent of the English passion for the outdoors is Ascot, near London. For 300 years, it's been the meeting place of the royals and the upper class. That's part of why people here in Yorkshire are proud of their identity and their show. Geza Stedman is a professor at a Berlin research centre focusing on the customs of the British.
In the country, they developed rural activities as a conscious contrast to the hustle and bustle of the big city and the capital. They're also an answer to the snootiness of the English upper class.
Among the more eccentric summertime sports in England are the annual cricket match on the sandbank in Brambles on the southern coast, or the watercress eating contest in Alresford near Southampton. And the traditional cheese rolling contest in Gloucestershire always sees its fair share of injuries.
For once, they can stop restraining their emotions in their bodies and maintaining the facade of decency, things that dominate everyday life. They let their hair down and can briefly just be wild and have fun. Afterwards, it's back to normal, orderly life.
Whatever their social class, the British love gardening. The Great Yorkshire Show devotes an entire event to crops and flowers.
We all love gardening. I think it goes back a long time. to when people grew their own vegetables, had little cottages, and if you grew vegetables, you grew flowers, and one protected the other. So people got used to it. And the more urban we become, the more people love to have their own little bit of garden.
John Henderson can't imagine spending his summer anywhere else but in the countryside.
And before you know it, our time is up. That is all for this edition of our Euromax Highlights. So until we meet again, all the best from Berlin and auf Wiedersehen.